Top 10 Brexit predictions for the next few months. Number 10. Changes in Prime Ministerial strategy. So Theresa May's African tour got a lot of coverage because there was no other news. It got a lot of praise from the left, who are pro-international aid, and from the right wing, people who want British money for British companies also gave it praise. So expect more dancing, more speeches around the world, and more trade deals in the coming months.
As you've said, Lord Boswell, I think it is important as we enter the final phase of the negotiations in the lead up to the October Council and the possibility that it may creep beyond that.
Number 9. The next few months will be all Brexit. We have key parliamentary votes on Brexit. Britain needs to move to try and get a deal. Party conferences will be focused on Brexit. The parties are split on a Brexit stance, and even after a potential deal is reached, we still have a transition period, meaning more Brexit for a while. Number 8. Theresa May won't get her deal. So everyone disapproves Theresa May's deal, including Brussels, Macron, and half her party. She's going to try and push it forward anyway. But there isn't really one clear Brexit deal. For example, Remainers vehemently want to be in the single market, Brexiteers vehemently want to be out. And of course the Tories are getting more and more divided on this. Number 7. The impossibility of the Prime Minister's job puts off leadership challenges. So nobody can agree on a deal. Potential challengers can't see any logic in them throwing themselves under the bus to become the leader of the country, and therefore the leader of Brexit. Boris Johnson is unpopular with parliamentarians even more ever since his Burqa gaffe. His colleagues are worried about his judgment. And of course other potential challengers are either deal loyalists who stick with May, or adamant leavers or remainers. All people who only appeal to their own camps in the party, therefore don't have the numbers to challenge May. Number 6. The Tory conference will be better than last time. So last year, you may remember there was coughing and spluttering, falling letters, and even a P45. And of course, Theresa May had just lost an election. But this year, she has the Chequers deal to sell. She'll need to fight off rallying by Jacob Rees-Mogg and Boris Johnson and other potential leaders and Remainers as well. She could announce a future election plan or her own retirement plan, but of course, remember when David Cameron did that, and look at what happened to him. So it will probably be avoided, and May might be kept hidden from the media scrutiny. Number 5. Labour can't get over its leadership worries. So Corbyn is now branded an anti-Semite. Momentum wants a second EU referendum, and of course it's too difficult to even work out a question that either doesn't sound like an attempt to remain or an attempt to oppose the deal and therefore pull a no deal, which Labour is vehemently opposed to. Number 4. The second referendum is unlikely. So Labour will need to try and open up its leadership to a second referendum if they want one, but then they need enough Labour and at least 25 Tory rebel MPs on side. Of course, many Labour MPs' constituencies in the north voted to leave. After the final deal, they might try and force through a motion at the Speaker's discretion, but it really depends if a no deal becomes more likely. Some polls show a move towards Remain, but it's still within margins of error. Number 3. Labour aren't as popular as you think. So in the event of a second referendum, or even a potential push for one, the Tories could then strategically move in candidates in those marginal Labour seats. Angry Leave voters would be more inclined to vote towards the deal supporting Tories than the Remain supporting Labour. But if UKIP and Nigel Farage's Leave campaign did well enough, then expect more third-party votes, and as a result, another hung Parliament.
The House has noticed the Prime Minister's remarkable transformation in the last few weeks from Stalin to Mr. Bean.
Number 2. Expect new faces. So the Lib Dems are making it easier for non-MPs to become leader. Once Brexit is resolved, we'll see a breakaway of disenfranchised people from both the main parties, there are many campaign groups already fighting for different things on Brexit. Just because the deal is done does not mean that Brexit is over.
I'm here today in the great city of Birmingham to launch my national campaign, in which I will make my case to the Conservative Party membership and to the country as a whole. That case comes down to three things. First, our country needs strong, proven leadership to steer us through this time of economic and political uncertainty and to negotiate the best deal for Britain as we leave the EU and forge a new role for ourselves in the world. Because Brexit means Brexit, and we're going to make a success of it. Second, we need to unite our party and our country. And third, we need a bold, new, positive vision for the future of our country. A vision of a country that works not for the privileged few, but for every one of us.
Number 1. Brexit means Brexit. So the future of the Prime Minister, and indeed the country, rests on the definition and outcome of the Brexit deal. Economic chaos, political chaos, or peace. That's the three definitions of Brexit. It's just that nobody knows which version produces which outcome. I suspect we'll never know because there'll always be another factor to blame, such as the election or Theresa May, or losses in EU migrants creating an over-reliance on non-EU migrants, or Remainers, or the EU itself, or you get the picture. But do you agree with me? Join in the debate below and subscribe.